Good morning, children. Welcome back to our class. Before we proceed, let's quickly recapitulate all that we dealt with in our previous video. Children, we read about the Anglo-Indian English author R.K. Narayan, who is among the best known and most widely read Indian novelists. R.K. Narayan was born on 10th October 1906 in Madras, South India. Educated there and at Maharaja's College in Mysore. His first novel, Swami and Friends, is set in the enchanting fictional territory of Malgudi. In addition to his novels, Narayan has also authored 5 collections of short stories. In 1958, he was lauded with the National Prize of the Indian Literary Academy for his work in The Guide. In 1980, he was awarded the A.C. Benson Medal by the Royal Society of Literature, and in 1982, he was made an honorary member of the American Academy and Institute of Arts and Letters. Children, we read that the lesson is in the form of a book review. We discussed what a book review is. It is a kind of a short essay expressing the writer's opinion or his feedback about a book that he or she has read. It is a brief synopsis, and the purpose of writing a book review is to analyze, evaluate, and express one's opinion on the quality of the book for the purpose of guiding others who may be interested in the book and not sure whether to read it or not. So it's a kind of a synopsis or an overall review. This lesson reading Swami and Friends deals with R.K. Narayan's book Swami and Friends, published in the year 1935. It has fictitious settings and characters, even the name of the place is fictitious. The main character, Swaminathan, who grows up in fictional town called Malgudi. The story dates back to 1930s, but the experiences are not different from the ones of the present days. Children can relate themselves with Swami and his friends in matters of their adventures and activities. Children, we read about the author's description of Monday mornings and how the main character, Swaminathan, hates going to school on Mondays. We also read about how he makes new friends, his fights with some old ones. He made many mistakes. Swami runs away from 2 schools and even he ran away from his home. He breaks his friend's heart and eventually comes to terms with the different situations in his life. Children, now come to page number 132 of your textbook. The life of a middle school kid, no matter where the child is from, comes with its unique set of problems. R.K. Narayan highlights several of these problems with a pinch of humor. Swami is distraught when his friends mock him but is consoled by a toy engine. He is embarrassed to introduce his old and ignorant grandmother to Rajam but finds out that the two get along just fine. He is cheated out of his money by the coachman, and when he goes to claim it back, ends up being chased away by a mob. And he gets into a lot of trouble by playing hooky from classes. These are experiences every child is familiar with. Children, the author R.K. Narayan, through this paragraph, highlights the life and problems of a middle school goer. He says it doesn't matter from which family background a child comes from. A child has his or her own set of unique problems. R.K. Narayan, famous for his humor, highlights several of such problems in a humorous way. Swami is extremely unhappy when his friends made fun of him, but finds solace by playing with the toy engine. He felt embarrassed when he introduced his old, illiterate, and orthodox grandmother to his friend Rajam, but afterwards finds out that the two liked each other's company and the way they think. Swami was once cheated by the coachman in terms of money when he desired for a hoop and got trapped in the coachman's plan, and when he claimed it back, he was being chased away by a mob. Swaminathan also once gets into a lot of trouble when he tried to avoid school and bunk his classes. These are such experiences that every child is familiar with or have gone through in their life. Now let's read the next paragraph. Swami, like Harry Potter, has been a beloved character ever since he was created. His simple life and simple dreams, going to the market with coins jingling in his pocket, make it easy for readers to connect with him. One can't help laughing at the excuses Swami's classmates give the headmaster when questioned about their absence from school. The funniest incident is when Swami visits the doctor. He goes to the doctor complaining of delirium. When the doctor asks him what he means by delirium, he answers, I have got it. I can't say exactly, but isn't it some kind of stomachache? Ever since the day the character of Swami was created by the author, it gained a lot of popularity and is one of the much beloved character like that of Harry Potter. The simple life and simple and ordinary dreams of the character help the readers relate or connect themselves with him in a much better way. When once Swami and his friends were questioned by the headmaster of the school about their absence from school, the silly and ridiculous excuses given by his classmates made the readers laugh their head off. The funniest incident took place when Swaminathan went to the doctor Kesavan, a physician, complaining of delirium, a problem when one is in an excited state of not being able to think or speak clearly, or a state that results in confused thinking and reduced awareness of surroundings, in order to get a medical certificate saying he can miss school drill practice in order to go to play cricket. But when Dr. Kesavan enquired Swami what according to him delirium must be, he said innocently, a kind of a stomach ache. Here he gets caught by the doctor for his lie. Through such scenes, Swami's innocence and simplicity are beautifully portrayed by the author R.K. Narayan. Okay, children, now the next one. It is through such scenes that Swami's innocence and simplicity are highlighted. Long before Diary of a Wimpy Kid burst into the literary scene, Swami's antics in middle school made children and adults roll with laughter. However, Swami is more than a simple child. He is at the age where he is not a child anymore and is not yet an adult. He is growing up. On the surface, he is a regular bloke everyone has met in real life. He dislikes Mondays and schoolwork and loves spending time with his friends. He is a carefree soul who regrets not fetching a lemon his grandmother asked him to do. He makes paper boats and floats them down a stream and is sad when the ant in the boat drowns. But as we go deeper, W.S. Swaminathan becomes a more complex soul. He is easily influenced by his peers in good ways and bad. He bullies an innocent car driver and plans to kidnap the coachman's son. He is not just a simple boy next door. He is also the boy who, as a part of a mob, breaks window panes and terrorizes elementary school students. He even beats up an elementary school student and leaves him to his fate. Long before, like the Diary of a Wimpy Kid gained recognition, similarly Swami's antics in middle school made children and adults roll with laughter. However, Swami is more than any ordinary child. He is at the age where he is neither a child nor an adult, whereas he is in the process of growing up. A kind of a person who is connected by mostly everyone in their life. A person who hates Monday mornings, schoolwork, but loves to be in the company of his friends. Swami is a carefree, ignorant soul. He was not able to maintain a balance between his work and leisure. One day, when his granny gave him money to get a lemon for her without a delay, but he forgets and come to playground. Now after a while he imagined his grandmother withering with pain. His boyish imagination, which exaggerated the whole affair, and it was in acute agony that he reached home. But when he reaches home, he was shocked of her ignorance. Swami builds a paper boat and places an ant inside it, then launches the boat into the water. Swami watches in excitement as the boat progresses, recovering from several dangerous turns. Finally, however, a leaf falls onto the boat and overturns it, and Swami is now unable to find the boat or the ant. So he pinches some dirt in the gutter and says a prayer for the soul of the poor ant. But as we move ahead in the story, the character of Swaminathan became more complex. He gets easily carried away by the good as well as the bad deeds or the behavior of his. He once even bullies and threatens an innocent driver and even made a plan to kidnap the coachman's son. Swaminathan is generally a good natured boy who gets along well with his peers and family, although he can be arrogant or deceitful at times and is easily swept up in the plans and enthusiasm of others. Swami has not lived a life of a simple boy. He too have tasted all the joys of life. He was once a part of a mob, broke window panes, and even created fear in elementary school students. He had even once beaten up an elementary school student very badly. Though through the novel, R.K. Narayan, the author, portrays the character and his different behavioral patterns at different stages of his life. The layers to Swami's character are peeled off one at a time, and at the center is a boy who is just trying to find his place in the world. Through the book, we see Swami growing into a more mature person. He regrets having left Albert Mission School. He also regrets leaving home, being away from Malgudi. He realizes that the issue with the headmaster at Board High School, which had seemed so serious at that time, is in fact quite trivial. He marvels at himself for having taken it seriously and rushed into trouble. But the biggest realization that he has is that he should have gone to his father with his troubles. He realizes that father would have scolded him a little and that all the scolding and frowning would have been worthwhile because father could be depended upon to get him out of any trouble. This seems to be one of the most important messages of the book that every child needs to know. In conclusion, Swami and Friends is a book for readers of all ages and allows us to relieve the pangs and joys of growing up. At the end of the novel, we see Swami growing into a more mature person. He regrets all his foolish behavior. He regrets having left Albert Mission School. He also regrets leaving home for petty reasons. Being away from Malgudi, he realizes that the issue with the headmaster at Board High School was not so serious that he had reacted upon. He marvels at himself for having taken it seriously and rushed into trouble. Unnecessarily, he had called trouble for himself. But the biggest realization he has is that the best person to reach was his father. He realizes that father would have scolded him a little and that all the scolding and frowning would have been worthwhile because father could be depended upon to get him out of any trouble. He realizes at the end that his father would have been the best source, would have been the best person to whom he would have depended upon. This seems to be one of the most important messages of the book that every child needs to know. So, Children, Swami and Friends is a book for the readers of all ages, all age group people, be it young, be it adults, be it old, as it allows them to relieve the pains and joys of growing up. They could easily relate themselves with the character of Swami at different stages of their life. That's all for the day, children. We have completed our section 1, Reading Swami and Friends. I would be sharing the notes in your class groups. So, till then, children, take care of yourself. Have a good day. Thanks for watching.